Oh my god, what is wrong with this game? Here I am again doing another Rocks rant on Gears of War Judgment because it's just bad. And guys, the game's been out for over a month now, and I tried to give it a chance. I tried, but it's not happening. And the more I think about stuff, the more I read reviews, the more it makes me mad, the more it makes me angry. And you know what? You guys should be angry with me too. I've been seeing comments who are pro Judgment. They've been saying accepting the game changes. They've been like, I for the most part, let me say this. I'm open to others people's opinions. I like hearing it because I'm not always right, and sometimes I'll be focused on one thing with missing, something positive about the game. And that's the one thing that I thought, there were people who were actually pointing out positive things about Gears of War Judgment. But it does not outweigh the negative. There's a lot of things that are wrong with this game, and it is not Gears of War. I'm sorry. It is not. It is not Gears of War. Not the way I traditionally know it, at least. And not just because of the pressing of the Y button to change weapons. I mean, it's a whole lot of things. Even Team Deathmatch. This is something I didn't touch on the last rant, was that they changed it. No longer do you have to play rounds of who gets 50 kills first, but on Judgment you have to kill. There's only one round. Whoever reaches 50 kills first, that's the winner. The problem with that is that it changes your game style. Again, it really does change your game style, because what I've been feeling a lot of Judgment is it's a lot of running and gunning. And let's say the other team just somehow gets a huge lead, at least by 10 kills, the opposing team will just give up. They'll just give up. So all you have now is just the team members running out there and getting killed, waiting to finish off the game so they can move on to the next one. And the previous games on Gears of War 3, because they were broken up into rounds and reaching 3, you really had to strategize in order to keep that lead. And if you would lose one round, you had a second chance to catch up with the second one, and that would create communication. It will start up strategies with your team members in order to see if you can get that lead again. But you lose that in Judgment because, like I said, it's only one round. Whoever reaches 50 first, and then it's over. That's it. It doesn't even give you a chance to catch up. You can try to say, what if the one team starts to hold back and maybe start getting kills that way. No, the game is so imbalanced with the weaponry that it's almost impossible to even care. When it's happening to you, it's almost impossible to even care. You basically just run out there and try to finish the game, but it's not the same thing. So those game styles that we used to love playing in Gears of War 3, they threw them out. There's a lot of them that are not in the game, as you guys know. I want to do a rant on the things that Gears of War Judgment doesn't have. Okay, because I've noticed that a lot of reviewers out there, especially one that I saw from IGN, they gave it a 9.2 out of 10, which I disagreed with IGN review. Not only that, they also called it the best Gears of War out of the previous 3, and also used comments saying that he hoped that the developers went on towards that direction of making changes to the game, because he thought that was the best thing. It was the best thing since sliced bread. And I'm like, bullshit. How could you fucking say that, Judgment feels like a fucking add-on. It doesn't even feel like a complete game. I'm not even talking about the content that it doesn't give you. It doesn't feel like a complete game. It feels like a half-assed Call of Duty version of Gears of War. Honestly, you guys can. There's a huge army out there of people who are disgusted with what's happened with Gears of War, and I just happen to be one of those voices who I can put up a video and rant my opinions on YouTube. And let me say thanks for you guys paying attention. But I know there's a lot of you guys out there who agree with me for your own reasons, for things that I probably miss. You guys are angry about something else. let me know about it, because I sometimes think it's funny because when I would watch some other people's comments on how angry and what it is that is pissing them off, it kind of makes me think like, wow, you know, I didn't even think about that one. It's true that they are fucking us with that shit. And that's what I want to do right here. I want to point out stuff that the reviewers out there are not telling you. This is something that Epic didn't want you to know. This is something that Microsoft didn't want you to know. Like, if you guys remember, when people were, when they announced that there was a new Judgment Gears of War game coming out, everybody was excited. But the one thing that caught everybody's attention was like, there's not going to be any down but not out. And that speculation just freaking carried on all the way up until its launch day. And when we were playing it, some of us were trying to deal with it, you know, some of us were trying to go with the changes. But Gears of War Judgment feels a lot like episode 1 from Star Wars. You know, at first everybody was like, yeah, okay, I think I could dig this. But in the end, you're like, no, I can't. This sucks. You know, this game really sucks. And now it's becoming the more popular vote, where people are starting to agree unanimously that Gears of War Judgment is the worst Gears of War game out of the entire 3. But, you know, before I get started on that, I'm gonna let you all know from what the things that I've noticed that suck about Gears of War Judgment. And here is my rant. So Gears of War Judgment is the Jar Jar Binks of the Gears of War franchise. I said it, there it is. I know some of you are not going to agree, but believe me, it is. It's just, it's a game that you can easily dislike, and I don't like it. So, but I'm going to go down the list of the things that I don't like, and I'll put them up also on the screen so you guys, you know, well, get to see what I'm going to be talking about. But the first thing is that the no down but not out situation that everybody was kind of concerned about. I don't understand why they would take out one of the hallmarks that makes Gears of War Gears of War. I mean, everybody liked doing the execution. If everybody recognized that in Gears of War you can do certain executions, and they were brutal, they were gory, and they were a whole lot of fun too. So why they decided that on this prequel they were going to remove them for whatever reason, they just decided, you know what, it's not in Call of Duty, it doesn't need to be in Gears of War. I feel that's what happened. I feel like some douchebag in corporate said, you know, they don't have execution types in Call of Duty, so I don't see what Gears of War needs this. So maybe that extra 2 seconds that you do to do the animations, maybe that's why people are not playing Gears of War enough. And they decided to take it out. The sad part is that they gave it to us in the DLC. And when I heard about them giving it to us back in the DLC, it made me mad. Why would they do that? Was it their intention to one day charge us to put the executions into a game that it should have already been in there? Do you guys understand what I'm saying? It's almost scary to think about, but it does make me think, was that what they were planning on doing? Imagine this. In Call of Duty, they're going to release a new Call of Duty game, and they tell us, guys, we're not going to have any kill streaks in that game. Okay? I wonder what the uproar would be from the gamers who play that game a lot, the real fans of that game. And then they're being told, and you might get the kill streaks back in the DLC for a few Microsoft points. How would you guys feel about that? If they started to charge you for the kill streaks, which are already in the previous games for free, but in the new launch title, they're not in it. But if you want to use them, you have to pay for them. How would you guys feel about that? This is the bullshit that I'm talking about. Now, this is lucky for us on Gears. They gave it to us for free, but it makes me wonder and think, were they? No, were they? You know what I mean? I mean, this is something we have to be concerned about, you know, and I don't mind, you know, paying for DLC, but when it's worth it. And in this game, in Gears of War Judgment, I feel like we're paying for stuff that we should have gotten at launch, you know? 4 multiplayer maps? Really? I'll get to that one later. But the next thing I want to talk about is the Call of Duty type weapon loadout, the pressing of the Y button. Now I'm gonna try to focus on the negative why it was a bad idea to switch it from the old scheme of the controllers to pressing of the Y button in order to switch only one primary weapon and the pistol, which you know it works the same way in Call of Duty. But I hate pointing shit out, but I'm pointing out the obvious. If you guys haven't figured that shit out yet, go to Call of Duty, press the Y button, see what fucking happens. But I'm talking about this one, and I'm only going to point out the negative things about it because, again, the reviewers aren't going to tell you the negative. They're only going to tell you the positive, but you need both in order to make an assessment.